Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's Ia Patsy, and I'm here to do the reading for August for the sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and those of you who are drawn to this reading. Um, Trying to get this done. I have an appointment today, and I just wanted to get on a roll. So I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to join us. If you please make sure that you give us a thumbs up when you join the room, because that way those people who haven't pressed the notification button will get it in their feed. Good morning. Greetings and salutations to you also. How are you? Cha Edwin. How are you? Thank you for joining. Okay, so we are going to be getting the messages this cycle from the new tarot cards that I got earlier last week, the Divine Feminine and Masculine Reunited deck, and this is by Christabel Jessica. All right, so I got these from Australia. I ordered them. I thought they'd be interesting, and so basically, these are broken down into four categories: the male, female, the shadow, and the light. And so, as we are progressing, those of us who are in union with our twin flames, or those of us who are separated but we're in communication, regular communication. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In regular communication with our twin flames, these readings are for you, because this is talking about the challenges and the lessons that we still have to understand and utilize, and all the things that we need to do to lift our collective vibration. Okay, so um, those of you who are not on that journey as yet, or you haven't made contact at all with your twin flame, you are more than welcome to watch this. At the end, I'm going to be doing a further reading with the same spread on Vimeo, and at that point, I'll be utilizing the tarot sexual magic. So those of you who would like to see that reading, you can just switch over to Vimeo, and you can download that and watch it at any time. So let's start here by getting our energy for our male Sagittarians. And I want to thank everybody for your subscriptions and your likes and shares and the comments. And those of you who have been asking for personal readings, thank you so much. And those of you who have just been giving donations, all right? And again, if you'd like to make a donation to the channel, the super chat is enabled. So anything that you'd like to contribute would be much appreciated by myself and my family. So let's get the energy for Sagittarius, masculine energy for the time period of August 2018. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, masculine energy. Each of these categories have 11 cards in them. So there are 11 female, 11 male, 11 shadow, and 11 light. So they're a little tricky to shuffle. And if they tell me to stop, I'll stop and just pick an energy. But I like to do it where they jump out. That's how I've mainly always done my readings. So let's see. All right. Since nothing jumped out, okay. So for our first male energy, Sagittarius, we have Khonvoum, Khonvoum, the god of love, number 11. Okay. So that's our male energy. And let's see what our female energies are saying. Female Sagittarius, feminine energy for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Thank you. Come on in. Okay. For the time period of August 2018. Okay, so the female energy that we've got here is Kuan Yin, number 10, goddess of nurturing. Okay, thank you, dear. All right, very good. So we've got love and nurturing. Okay, and let's see if we can get one more for light. And this is for those born under the sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Thank you for those blessings. Okay. Okay. All righty. So we've got all our energies. I'll explain the other two when we get to it. But the first energy that we have here for our males, Convum, however I'm supposed to be pronouncing it, and that is the god of love, number 11. So just hold it so you can get a good look at him. So he's got a rabbit by a hare, I guess. So that's fertility. He has a hawk on his shoulder. So that's wisdom and paying attention to what is happening. He's got a bow and arrow. So that's reminiscent of Sagittarius energy, right? And he's cloaked in red. So again, fire sign may be indicated. So this is someone who has been paying attention, who is using his wisdom. All right, his third eye is open. He's a provider. He knows how to handle his love. He has control over his love, the way he exhibits it, the way he expresses it. He's not afraid of being expressive, but he's also protective. All right, let's see what. Okay, that might be pretty good. Thank you guys for having patience with me. Let's see what this energy is talking about. Number 11. Traditionally, I am the African god of creation. You may not expect me to be the god of love. I do, in fact, carry forward the divine masculine energy of a deep, profound love, shown in a way that is perfectly aligned with being on a physical plane. I ask you to really observe the behaviors of those around you. Okay, so again, paying attention to what's happening. It is sad, but it is a sad but common predicament in our current society for people to misinterpret gestures of love completely. Just as I am shown bringing forth the gains from my hunt for my tribe, those around you are potentially extending you gestures of love that are easily overlooked. Gestures of love are as varied as the vast amount of souls incarnate on your plane. Gestures of love are as varied as the vast amount of souls incarnate on your plane. Learn about the ways you personally interpret love. Discover how you personally show love. Is it possible that those around you interpret love and show love in different ways to you? And conversely, do they need to be shown love in other ways to understand it? Us viewing interactions from spirit can see that often it is as if you're speaking German to a loved one who is a Spanish speaker. The love is there, is being shown, but not being understood. The energy of love behind the gestures is of more value than the gesture itself. Ashe. So, as I was reading that, it was coming to me. A real example of that is the way our parents, at least my parent, for my siblings and myself, my mother's attitude was, I feed you, I put a roof over your head, I clothe you, and I send you to school. Of course I love you. What is this? So she wasn't an expressive, huggy feely type of mommy. Um, Not to say that she wasn't a great mommy, she was. When we were little, she played games with us, she taught us how to read and all those other things that we needed before we even started school. Very responsible. Both of our parents, mother and father, were very responsible like that. But my father would play with us. He would, make funny sounds and cartoon characters and, play games with us and buy us toys and stuff. And my mother, children can't eat toys. Children can't wear toys on their backs to school. And her attitude was, if I take care of you, if I go to work every day and I bust my behind and I make sure that you get your lessons done and that you're going to school and you have clean clothes, that's love. She didn't see that. She didn't understand because she wasn't raised that way. To hi Ruth, she didn't understand, and she had a hard time understanding until we were actually adults that it would have been nice to have the hugs and I love yous more often. Um, but then again, she had her moments when, we all sat in her bed and watched television together, hugged up and that type of thing. So to her, because she missed out on those type of things when she was a little girl, because she was raised by her grandparents. And so it was very important to her to have her children around her, that she knew what her children were doing and that her children and her would wake up in the same bed. That was very important to her because she never woke up in the same bed with her mother that she could ever remember, of course. Um, and so it was a different way of her expressing her love was to try to give us all the things that she felt that she had been denied, plus everything that she had been given by her grandparents, which was food, shelter, education, manners, uh, spiritual lessons, those day to day, social interaction type things, they took care of that for her. But love was not expressed in the way that we felt here living in the United States, um, under a different kind of a system. And also, things changed during the 60s and 70s about the way uh, people expected their parents to show love. And so it caught a lot of our parents who were growing up in the 40s and the 50s, caught them off guard because you got a home, you have food, you got clothes, you have friends. What do you need? So it was like a little culture war inside of your families at the time. So those who exhibit this type of expression of love, where they're providing and they're protecting. Um, and again, this is number 11. So this is like the ultimate. This is what the male energy is striving for. Our thing is learning to recognize that this is love just as much as verbally saying I love you, because we all know actions speak louder than words. So we have to learn to understand and value where the male energy is coming from in the way that he expresses his love. All right, don't forget to like the videos if you're joining in the room. I appreciate all the likes. Now, for the female energy, we have Kuan Yin, number 10, goddess of nurturing. Now, 10 reduces to 1. So this is talking about maybe self-nurturing, taking care of yourself. Not too dissimilar from the god of love energy, which is, again, providing, all right, nurturing, showing compassion, making sure that your partner's needs are met, making sure that your family's needs are met. Let's see what Kuan Yin is speaking about. Okay, Kuan Yin. Alrighty. Nuh-uh, no midnight. No, no, no. Get down. Come on. Not now. Not now. Kuan Yin speaks. Hello, dear one. I have some words for you about the nurturing power of the feminine. My daughters upon the earth are judged in many ways for being too much of something or not enough of it, for being a stay-at-home mother, for being a working mother, or not being a mother at all, for being too frigid or perhaps too promiscuous, for wearing too much makeup or not taking enough pride in her appearance. Most of these items are up for discussion. Most of these items that are up for discussion are things on a spectrum of energy that differ from person to person, regardless of what is deemed right or wrong in your society. This is how I see it. When women are being judged in regards to the energy that is close to my heart and that which I am closely associated with, nurturing. Nurturing, as with other topics mentioned, is meant to be on a fluctuating spectrum from woman to woman and internally for each individual woman, depending on how she's experiencing her unique existence within each moment. This is an area in particular where women pit themselves against one another in civil war. In reality, rejecting the other is rejecting oneself, because each of us has the potential within us to exhibit each end of a polarity, good or bad, love or fear, extremely nurturing or mildly so. Each unique expression of divinity, each person is intended to be just that, free individual expression. So, divine feminines. This is about accepting yourself and accepting other women around you, accepting the way they express their nurturing, the way that they take care of themselves and their families, all right? And to not be judgmental about the choices that other women make, all right? Understanding that everything ebbs and flows, just like we talked about earlier this week and in earlier readings, that we flow between different energies. Sometimes we're a lot of masculine, sometimes we're a lot of feminine. Sometimes we are embracing our Sagittarius, and sometimes we're embracing our Capricorn or our Aries or our Taurus or whatever sign shows up in the rest of your chart, depending on what the situation and what planets you need to employ in order to survive the situation or to deal with the situation that you're dealing with. So this is talking about, again, as I was saying about the example with my family, the nurturing that my mother was exhibiting was the best that she could do with the information that she had at the time. And so we need to be accepting of that and not judgmental of it. All right. Know that the intention is to nurture, the intention is to love, but it's just everybody shows it in different ways. And accepting the need for every person, especially every woman, to accept that about her female counterparts. That your nurturing, your love to your family and to your community may look different. The way you love yourself and the way you love others. But it comes from a place of nourishing. And it may be increased or decreased as needed. It may be adjusted as time goes on. So, again, accepting different forms of love and nurturing. So, this is the energy that you're working with for the month of August. Accepting and recognizing expressions of love from your masculine twin, and him accepting and recognizing nurturing coming from the female, that it might not always be as gentle or may not be always expressed as politely or as diplomatically as needed. But again, looking past the tone and seeing the intent. Look past the tone and see the intent. Now, the challenge for you all this month is abandonment. So, the reason that we are expressing these different ways of love and nurturing and how that has affected us today is because of our issues of abandonment. So there's a fear that if you don't show love in the right way, your twin's going to leave, or your twin is not going to accept this relationship. They're going to turn their back and walk on away if you're not expressing love in the way that they need you to. And that's a fear that you have. So I think what it is that both the male and the female energies are trying to get one another to understand how they love so that they can avoid abandonment, so that they can deal with that fear. So, again, communication is the key to all of these things. The masculine energy needs to be able to express himself and explain what his definition of love is and how he feels that his actions are expressing the love that his feminine is looking for. And the feminine's challenge is to understand that everybody's nurturing is different. It doesn't make one person's right or wrong. It's just different degrees. All right. And expressing to her partner what he can do in this relationship, whatever it is, whether it's in union or just in separation, but in communication. What it is that she needs to see in order not to feel abandoned. How was her experience growing up as a human here on this plane? How was that? How does that affect the way that she measures love? What does she need? What type of nurturing does she need to receive in order to not be afraid of being abandoned? And what does he need to see? What type of love and nurturing does he need for him not to feel abandoned? Or for them not to feel, each of them, that they need to abandon this entire relationship or this entire journey. Please don't forget to like, give me a thumbs up. So, abandonment, number 8. 8 is infinity. So, I think that this is something that's kind of universal, something that we're always struggling with. Those of us who have abandonment issues. All right. And abandonment doesn't have to be, somebody went for cigarettes and never came back. The parent or the person that abandoned you could be right there, living in the same home with you, but you don't feel a connection, and you feel like they're a non-participant in the relationship. Maybe you saw that going on between your parents or the adults around you, and you fear that. Maybe you had a parent who passed away, or maybe you were, adopted. Maybe you were sent to live with relatives for whatever reason. That could have been for protective reasons for yourself, but as a child, you may not have understood it. All you knew is that you didn't know where your parents were, or you couldn't get back to them. Abandonment is never because of you. Let me repeat that. Abandonment is never because of you. Let that paint every part of your energy field. It is not because you are unworthy. It is not because you are unlovable. It is not because there is something about you that deserves rejecting. It is caused by someone not having the capacity to be present with you. Only hurt people hurt people, and every single human is hurt in some way or another. We all know this, but it's not always easy to remember in situations when we ourselves feel hurt. And that's okay. It's always of the most importance to feel any grief or feelings that come up surrounding the feeling of abandonment, but to remind yourself after deeply feeling the pain that it is not because you are unlovable. If someone does not have the capacity to be there for you and they show you that, listen to them. They will come to you if and when they have built up the capacity to be present. The same works the other way. If you choose not to be with someone who shows an interest in you, it's okay. It is not that you're being bad or hurt or being a bad or hurtful person, and it's not that this person is unlovable or undeserving or unworthy. You can go to www.youtube.com Christabel Jessica for a video description of these cards. Okay, Christabel is Christabel, and then you'll get more information about the way the author saw this issue, how she was led to create this card for this issue, these images. So I think that we're at a crucial juncture here. If the masculine energy is trying to convey that his actions of protection and provision, all right, of showing up, of being there, he wants it to be understood that this is what he does and this is the best he can do right now. And the female is talking about her need to be nurtured, and perhaps the way that these two energies will be interacting with one another triggers abandonment issues in them both. Her reaction to his love and his reaction to her nurturing. Maybe he sees her nurturing more as nagging. And maybe she sees his love as him not being home, him being more focused on work than on nurturing the relationship. So for some of you Sagittariuses, this is going to be the issue that you'll be dealing with in this twin flame relationship over the next month or for the rest of the year or for a few weeks. The light in this situation, Ashego. Number 2, openness. Only way to deal with this is to talk about it, to express yourselves, to allow yourself to know and to feel and express your fears, your fear of abandonment. Share that feeling with your partner. Express to them what it is that has triggered this fear in you. The fear that's either going to make you walk away from a relationship or just living on pins and needles, afraid that at any moment someone's going to leave or that you're going to feel the need to leave. So we need to be open and expressive about these triggers. And number 2 speaks about love. Many people in this world don't have an open heart. It can be very scary to open your heart when you're scared of being rejected or abandoned. The sad thing is that a closed down heart leads to pain anyway. So why not open up to the possibilities? How can we open our heart when we know that the love can go away? Heartbreak can come sweeping in, removing any debris and heart wall. It can be like an anvil, cracking open, and cracking open your heart. And for this reason, after experiencing loss, it can feel easier to decide to never allow yourself to be vulnerable again. It can be very easy to say, that's it, I'm never opening my heart again, because you know what loss feels like. But you can go through heartbreak and allow yourself to feel the pain and allow it to break down all the barriers up against your heart. If you continue to be loving and open, then you have just ripped your heart wide open. And that is so courageous. The key to openness is knowing that having an open heart is not related to waiting until you know it's not going to be broken, but keeping it open regardless of the fact that it may not last. Knowing that if you are left feeling alone or rejected, you'll still be okay. Hi, Katilla, good morning. You will hold yourself through the emotion and whatever happens afterwards. So, this is about being open, being vulnerable, but also knowing and accepting that the Creator, is still going to support you, even if someone walks away, even if you choose to walk away. You're not walking away from God. You may be walking away from a situation temporarily or permanently. A person may be walking away from you. A person may be leaving you for reasons that they can't help. Something could happen to them. But you have to be open to this experience, knowing that part of this is to deal with this these feelings of abandonment that are universal. Different degrees of it affect us in different ways, whether we've experienced it or whether we've heard of it. Some disappointment of someone that didn't show up when you needed them to, or some disappointment of yourself, disappointment in yourself for not being able to show up or to stay when perhaps you should have, or you feel you should have. We need to accept that everything happens for a reason and that all these things are lessons. But if we have the opportunity, regardless of what, we should try to apologize if we need to. And we should try to find out why we behaved in that manner and what we can do in the future to prevent that from occurring again. Okay, so let's see if we can get anything else about the month of August 2018 in regards to this twin flame journey for Sagittarius. Okay, thank you. And I want to thank you, Sagittarius. You all have been faithful from day one. And I can always count on you guys. And I want to really, really, really let you know how much I appreciate it. The Sun Dancers. Number 32, joyful activity, celebration of life and abundance. But this was in the reverse as it fell onto the table. So I think what this is saying is that maybe you're being a little too serious right now and you're not celebrating your life. You're not celebrating the union and the abundance. Maybe you're taking it for granted. And somehow or another, in my head, that just related to not recognizing love. If it's not shown in the way that you want it to be. So maybe you are so worried on maintaining the union or making the union happen that you've forgotten to be joyful and grateful for the abundance. Okay. Maybe you need to take yourself somewhere and relax yourselves and celebrate yourself, celebrate your partner. Maybe the lessons are getting a little too much right now. Maybe you just need to refresh yourselves with a regular break. Go dancing, go to the beach, go hang out in the park together. Appreciate the change. Recognize that you do have lessons and that there will be lessons that you all can address together. But making yourself happy, making yourself appreciate and be grateful for the journey up to now. Let your hair down a little bit. Recognizing the abundance. So, the sun dancer, the challenge. That's what it's called when it's in the reverse. Okay? Beware of losing yourself in your dreams of the future when the sun dancers come to challenge you. Their message is sweet and simple. Stop what you're doing and go have some fun. Celebrate what is and don't worry about what will be or what could be. Be here and now. Just be just for today. You will find your answers, but only after you've made time to play. Tomorrow, after all, is another day, and the sun will rise again to shed its warmth and light on all that needs clarity. That you can count on. So, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break today, at least. And throughout the month of August, lighten up a little bit. Show some gratitude to the divine and to your partner for whatever it is that has finally brought you together, or whatever it is that is being healed in this relationship. But just go have some fun. Just go enjoy yourself. Be open. And maybe when you're doing that, maybe when you're having fun, you'll be able to see more clearly the ways that you each express your love and your nurturing to one another. Spirit whisperer, divine guidance and higher knowing. Number 3. So your ancestors are trying to give you a message They're telling you that you don't have to worry about this abandonment stuff, that the time that you spend with your partner interacting, talking, celebrating, it's going to help you to feel more comfortable in the relationship so that you won't have these abandonment issues. That if you listen to your intuition and you pay attention to the divine guidance that you're getting, that you two together can learn to trust and rely on this relationship. Not only the relationship that you all have with one another, but the relationship that you have with the divine. Again, number 9, this ringmaster of scrutiny, discernment, clear vision, details. Paying attention to the details, paying attention to the messages. Again, watching and appreciating the way your partner shows love. Watching and appreciating the way your partner shows their nurturing. Learning from that. Understanding, discerning. Seeing things clearly, not as we want them to be, but as it is right now. Seeing your relationship, not judging it on past experiences with other people, karmics or other people that were in your life for a season. Pay attention to the changes that have gone on. Pay attention to the connection that you have personally made with the divine. Pay attention to the details of this journey. And be assured that this is all divinely directed, that you are looking at this relationship from a higher perspective than you would have 10 years ago, 10 months ago, maybe even 10 days ago. Understand that you have a higher knowing and a higher calling, and that you're an example. See if we can get anything from the Conscious Spirit Oracle that can add to this. Any advice? So, again, this is not a warning or anything. This is just letting you know what the challenges are, why you're having this lesson. But at the end of the day, you know that everything's going to be fine because of the openness, the ability to communicate your needs and your concerns. Anything for this? Okay, thank you. All right, just like I said, number 20, again, this is a 2, right? Throat chakra, expressing yourself, talking about it. All right, I speak my truth and encourage others to speak theirs. That's openness. Talking about it, speaking about it, finding out where the angst originated, and now how are we going to fix it together? How are you going to avoid it altogether? How are you going to avoid feeding into these feelings of abandonment? Because this is not about what's abandonment is something that you're fearing in the future. And what they're telling you is to focus on the present, taking care of what's happening presently, and not allowing yourself to sabotage this relationship because you're concerned about being abandoned. But talk about it now before it becomes an issue at all, so that your partner knows that they can trust you not to go down that road, and that when you see yourself doing it, you'll be able to catch yourself going down the road towards things that are going to make them trigger. So if you're talking about it and you understand what triggers it in one another, then you can avoid it. But the only way to do that is to communicate, to pray about it, and to know that ultimately there will be no abandonment, because the divine and your spirit guides, your soul team, they're always with you. And they're always looking out for your greater good. But in terms of this relationship, the answer is openness, conversation, talk about it, express yourself. Very good. Okay, so Sagittarius, that is this part of the reading. And so I'm going to stop it here now, and then I'm going to go over to Vimeo and finish this reading up. We'll be getting energies from the Tarot Sexual Magic and messages from Past Life Oracle to see what it is that has been triggering you and anything else that you need to be aware of in your relationship with your divine partner. So, Sagittarius, thank you so much for joining me. And I will be talking to everyone soon. And I'm going to try to see if I can get back and do another reading this afternoon. But I don't know. I'm going to the dentist, and who knows what will happen. Then I may not be able to get on the camera. Okay, so again, don't forget to like and share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll be putting the link for Vimeo in the description box and in the comments once that's all done. Okay, so I'm going to go over to Vimeo and finish this reading up. And I appreciate all your love and all your loyalty, Sagittarius. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye-bye. Namaste.